Good morning and welcome to Yin Yoga this morning, or whatever time you're watching the recording. Welcome. Let's start by taking some deep breaths. You might want to have some pillows or a bolster today and a blanket nearby, especially if you tend to get cold like I do. I don't actually have my blanket nearby. Might have to get up and get it. But let's go ahead and start with a little bit of warm up to our spine. Nothing more important than a flexible spine. So we do these stomach circles beginning with counterclockwise and breathing through your nose if possible, just through your nostrils. Inhale as you come forward and exhale around the back. Let's begin to come to center. Whether you have your day in front of you or your day behind you, let's bring our attention to our core, to our center, so that we can be very present in the moment. Whatever may have happened today or yesterday, or what you might be anticipating coming up today or tomorrow, notice if you have any feelings about it. It's so important to manage these feelings and energies every day, because we do have feelings every day about something. We have situations that come up, things that can be stressful. And now go the other direction, still breathing in as you go around the front. And if we don't clean that energy daily, we're just building it up. And then it begins to feel heavier, or maybe pain in your body can occur. I definitely feel a little out of sorts today. Yesterday, I went to help my mother go to the doctor, and I just have to say that it's always a challenge to get her out of the house and to the doctor. It's a big ordeal. But fortunately, I wasn't alone. One of my sisters came with me so we could share the burden. And it was more fun. It was definitely more fun. But there was a moment that I completely felt my energy drain. It was so obvious. And I thought, okay, that's on me. I've got to stay present. And calm. Okay, now back to the center. And just take a moment. Maybe roll your shoulders. Wiggle a little bit. Move your arms. So everything we're doing right now is helping to manage energies. Okay. Now take your hands to your shins and begin the flexing of the spine forward and back. Inhale, bringing your chest forward through your arms. Exhale back while you straighten your arms. Your head stays kind of neutral. Let your belly get big on the inhale and then contract on the exhale. This is a good one to practice the Mula Bandha lock, where you pull up on the muscles all around the sex organs, and men and women. So just pull up like a kegel, all the while doing the forward and back. If it's painful to pull up on that at all, then back it off or don't do it. Some people have a lot of energy held in the lower two chakras, first and second, that may need to be addressed. Okay, and relax. Okay, a couple more spinal warm-ups. Now we'll do our twists. Today, let's do arms at a right angle, palms forward, and as you inhale, you rotate to the left. Exhale, rotate to the right, keeping your arms at the same height. Eyes are closed. You can gaze up and in at the third eye point between the eyebrows. And just let your head travel with you on the rotation. You could possibly still hold the little mini Kegel or Mula Bandha lock. Spine is nice and tall. Chin is slightly tucked. As we begin to release these energies that we've picked up during the day, we access more of our true self. So we're more authentically ourselves. We're more embodied when we release these energies that don't belong. And you may have some energies that have been there for a long time that don't belong. So it's not just from daily management, but past traumas can all be addressed with, at least with my yoga offerings, the intention is really always to release emotions and energies that don't belong or that are inappropriately held in our bodies. And I know I look so nice and sweet, but I have had a history of anger in my life from a very early age, and that can still pop up. So when it does, I just know, oh, I got more stuff to release. So you don't want to run away from it or guilt yourself, feel bad about yourself. You just want to acknowledge it and Give yourself more opportunities to get triggered, and doing your best to not actually explode or implode when triggered. That's going to help release the energies right on the spot. Okay, and arms back down, slowly down to the center, and then back out to the knees. Ah. And just take a moment. Okay, I'm talking about anger, but I actually want to talk about anxiety today. So let's begin the next exercise where you inhale your shoulders up toward your earlobes and exhale, just allow them to drop. You can hold on to your knees. You could be sitting in any chair, couch, whatever works for you through a lot of these postures, at least these warm-ups. We'll see about, you can't really do that in some of the postures we're going to do today though. You might be able to do it in your bed though. So it's not like you have to be on the floor either. So inhale up, exhale drop. Tuck your chin slightly, elongate the back of your neck. So this is a time of year for anxiety to come up. It just does. Actually, I want to correct that. In the northern hemisphere, because we're moving into the cold season, and that's hard on our bodies, and that could cause a little bit of anxiety on any given day in anyone. But for people who are already prone to anxiety, this is a tough time of year for our bodies and our minds. So today I want to do yin postures that are really soothing for anxiety. Okay, on the next inhale, hold it up, hold the breath in, stretch up, and slowly exhale. So it's not unusual to have both anxiety and anger or irritability. Again, especially this time of year. So the stress, the anxiety, triggers irritability. I'm often really great, all smooth and calm until I get stressed out. And then I get sort of angry quickly. So that's my focus, is to notice when that happens. I notice it pretty quickly now, and I can allow myself to step back. What you want to deal with is the stress, because that's kind of the core of it. Okay. So let's begin with a posture that is great for any yin class. Could be in every single yin class. Butterfly. So soles of the feet are together, knees are bent. There's a shape of a diamond shape in between. It's not necessary to bring your heels all the way to your groin. And to begin with, keeping the spine straight, from the hips, hinge forward. So without bending forward, hinge forward. And you'll probably feel that in your legs somewhere. I really feel it underneath, kind kind of the outside underneath part of my legs, upper legs. But you might feel it somewhere else. And take several breaths in this hinged forward, straight back posture. And I will turn on some music. And now when you're ready, and by the way, blocks, I forgot to bring my blocks in today, but blocks can come in handy for this posture, possibly pillows too, like you could put a pillow on each side here if this hurts to let your legs fall out. So after your next inhale, exhale and allow your spine to round forward and your head to come down. I like to usually have a block under my head. And so it may be two blocks, like one on the tall and one on the flat, where I can rest my forehead right on my blocks. Or some other combination of height with your blocks. Or sometimes I have my blocks in my hand, a block in my hands right here, and I can put my head on the top of the block. For people who have the Vata body type in Ayurveda, they are more prone to this fall aggravation, anxiety, irritability, insomnia, constipation, dizziness. So if that happens to you in the fall, there's a good chance you have a lot of Vata energy as your constitution. And there are many things you can do to help that. So if you need help with that, please reach out to me. I think it doesn't help that school starts in the fall, New Year, and Christmas is coming. And so I think that adds to the stress of the fall in the Northern Hemisphere. yoga is long and deep, or medium, or long, let's see, it's relaxed. Let's just say that. If you can't relax in the breath, you might be going too deep into the stretch. So with the help of your arms and hands, begin to slowly uncurl from the lower vertebrae, finally bringing the neck and head up last. Nice and slow. And straighten both legs out. You can do a little movement here of the parts that were stretched. You want to give at least 20 or 30 seconds rest in between postures. There's a lot going on in my body right now. I got one leg is like it fell asleep. A lot of yawning to release the energies. Okay, so let's move into a stacking of the legs. So starting with your left leg, line it up parallel to the side edge of your mat, and sit up nice and tall so that you're equal here before you do anything else. And keep that in mind. We want to stay equal and forward here without a twist to start with. So that may make it harder to stack your other leg up. And if you're not going to be able to do this, that's okay. There is a modification for it, but otherwise you put your right ankle on your left knee and look at this big space I have right now in between the right knee and that foot. Okay, so if that's too much for you, you could keep one leg straight in front of you and bring the other leg up. And then I would probably hold that foot so that you could leverage and put some pressure on that knee. So it's starting to open up this hip on the left. But if you can do the other, we'll do both sides. This will come down for me, it usually does, by the end of the stretch, come down quite a bit anyway. But you can start just maintaining that forward posture, nice and tall spine, tuck the chin a little. side it feels good to go to the side. So you can try, I'm going to say try keeping your legs straight, but just coming a little bit to the left with your upper body. You could even rotate it. You could spread your hand out a little further and come down a little more. And see what it feels like to gently rock your head a little bit forward or to the side, but not around the back. Just see if it feels like, oh, that's a good stretch. Two, if you find a spot that really feels like it's a good one, stay there. Pick it all up and start again. You've got a second chance, you could go. And then try it on the other side too, just to see if that's a good stretch for you. Again, you can keep your head neutral for sure, or you can try to find an angle of your neck and head that where you find a stretch maybe in your upper back from allowing your head to drop, or your neck, of course. You could still be what you want to, what you said you were when I met you. You've got a warm heart, you've got a beautiful brain, but it's disintegrating from all the medicine, from all the medicine, from all the Okay, and we'll slowly come back up. Now we have the other side to do, but we want to rest a little in between. So help that one leg up, the upper leg off. Straighten both legs. You could still be what you want to be, what you said you were when you met me. You could still be what you want to, what you said you were. Okay, now we'll begin with the other leg down. So this one will be the right leg bent, And bringing the left leg up, or do the other version. And just be here, straightforward, breathe. Relax your legs. You could have your hands on the floor to help you stay upright in your upper body. You know, we didn't do this last time, but another thing to do is just to actually hinge forward from the waist. Not the waist, from the hips. So keeping the spine straight, you could hinge forward. And that'll put even a little more forward pressure, helping to bring that leg down, that knee. And you might even try then bending forward, see how that feels. You can have your hands come forward in that case. So see what feels right for you. There's a lot of different modifications that you can do in all of these postures. Now just notice if you've been able to bring your knee closer to the ground or to your foot since when you first got into the posture, and celebrate that we just need to do these poses and they make a difference. Okay, slowly begin to come out. Help your foot down or off the other leg. Slowly straighten. Do your little figure eights with your shoulders leaning back on your hands. Crack, crack. Okay. And now let's lay on our backs, the full length of your mat. Your hands need space to go above your head. So stretch out your legs. And let's start with placing your right leg ankle over your left ankle. We'll end up doing both sides. You might want to notice if your low back hurts when you place that ankle over. So it could be that your lower back is too arched. So if you lift up your hips and now from top to bottom, lower each vertebrae, including the lower back. And then straighten out your legs again, and there should be less of an arch. And you can also push your, kind of angle your pelvis so that you can push your lower back down into the mat. And just know you can always use muscles like your glutes, and you can squeeze them, and you can squeeze your abdominals to, push that lower back down. And then if you retry putting the leg over, then you may find, okay, that's a little better than it was the first time. Or again, if it's still a little sore, you can push down into your lower back. So you take the arch out of it. And now put both hands up above you. And since our right leg is going over our left, to the left, now we're going to grab our right wrist with our left hand and begin to pull it over to the left. So you're in the banana shape. Bananasana is the name of this one. Oh, you know what I totally forgot to do? I got so into talking about the lower back. I'm going to move my hips over to the right, and my right foot is still way to the right of the mat. And now try to put that, sorry, my left foot was to the left of the mat. Now I'm going to put my right foot over. And now pull your upper body over to that same left side of the mat. And really feel the stretch along your right arm, your armpit, your right side body, all the way down to your hips, and maybe even through the legs. And do some little micro movements just to see, oh, if I tighten this, this happens. If I pull a little more, I feel it more in my armpit. So don't be afraid to just kind of experiment with your own body a little bit. In yin, we hold the postures at least 2 minutes, usually 2 to 5 minutes. That's the time frame where we can get the most benefit out of it. So we're actually stressing our bodies by holding these stretches for a lengthy period of time. But it's a controlled stress. And at the same time, our body goes into a little bit of a fight or flight mode. Whenever that happens, we release things that are non-essential, energies that are non-essential. And then in the end, we feel better once we release those energies. Those energies may take a few weeks to totally clear out if you've really tapped into something big. Okay, you can release your arms, bring them down. I often will hold on to both edges of my mat just to give, and then I push down into my elbows. I don't know, it's just like a little extra strength. And then take that one leg off. And let's rest with our knees bent. So go ahead and lift your hips up, bring them back to center of the mat. You can even have your hands underneath your sacrum. during the resting posture, palms down. And again, that can help any lower back issues. And then once you've completed the rest, okay, this time keeping your knees bent, press into your feet, lift your hips, bring your hips toward the left side of the mat, and take your right foot down all the way to the corner edge, the bottom corner of the mat. You can already move your shoulder, your right shoulder to the right side. So your hips are still on the left. Your feet, your foot, and your shoulders have shifted to the right. Now take that left foot and slide it down, holding onto the mat still. Slide it down to where your ankle is over the other ankle, and then bring both arms up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand and pull your left wrist toward the right. So stress is kind of funny in that when you get stressed out, it doesn't just mess with your vata energy if you have vata energy. It'll also mess with your pitta or your kapha energy. Stress will cause aggravation to your vata energy, and we all have vata energy, but some of us have a whole lot more than others. And we all are susceptible to stress. So once your vata energy gets pulled out of whack, it will mess with your fire and your earth energy. So vata is air and ether. Pitta is fire and water. No, fire. Yeah, I think it's fire and water. And kapha is earth and water. So getting stressed will cause all of us to have various types of imbalances. So you might, like I said, get angry and you think, oh, my pitta's out of whack. Yes, but it got pulled out of whack and out of balance because of the vata energy being aggravated by stress. And the stress can be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. So it's really important for us to get a handle on stress and see what stresses us and find ways to lean into that stress in such a way like what we're doing here today that is controlled and it won't lead to explosions or implosions. And yet we can still take some of the pressure off, release some of the pressure. Now start to release the arms. Like before, I like to reach down for that mat and slowly inch my foot off of the other leg. And I like to bend my knees after this one. And then you can lift your hips and bring them back to the center of the mat. And bring your shoulders back. And we'll rest here for a moment. I'm going to put my hands under my sacrum. You can have your feet wide and your knees falling in toward each other. So that one is it's an arch for sure for your lower back. So we're going to work ourselves up into seated. I lost my clip. I couldn't lay on it. And so let's do a reverse of an arch. And here you might want to have your pillow or bolster. Let's have two pillows here. On my legs. And we're going to move into caterpillar pose, which is simply coming forward. Maybe you can reach your toes, maybe not. Maybe you just drape your arms down and let your back round forward and your head drop. So you know how dry the trees get in the fall? The forests get super, super dry. They've had a buildup of heat all summer long. And all it would take is a spark for that to just like burst into flames in some cases. So we're like that too. We've had a buildup of heat. We get really dry. The cold weather comes on and causes aggravation because it's such a big change to go from the hot to the cold weather. And it adds even more dryness as the fall comes with more wind, cold wind, just more dryness, right? Until it starts to rain, really. A lot of people are going to feel really dry in their skin. So you can address that by doing the warm oil massage even daily on yourself, or get in a bath with oil. And that helps the skin not be so dry, and it helps us not be so explosive. check and see if maybe you can go a little bit deeper now. I'm just going to remove one of my pillows. And now slowly work your way up. Again, come up one vertebrae at a time, theoretically. Okay, so I want to show you the legs up the wall posture. This is so good for anxiety. So you want to bring your mat right up against the wall. Lengthwise. So this is the wall I'm talking about. And here's my mat. And now I'm going to put my bolster or pillows right on top. Not sure if that's too many. Okay, so how do we get on this? Because we're going to lay back on our backs and then have our legs up against the wall. And even if you don't have pillows or bolsters, just you can just go right up with your butt right up against the wall. Actually, I should move it over a little bit. Because just to get on it is a little bit awkward. But so I'm just going to sit right next to the wall. Right next to the wall. So my right hip, doesn't matter, right or left, is right against the wall. And then you just begin to rotate and bring one leg up, the other leg up. And then you may have to inch closer to the wall once you have your legs up. And then lay back. So there's still a little space between my upper legs and the wall. It's not like you have to be flat against it. And you can, this is where the blanket might come in handy. Mine's still way over there. Just allow your arms to rest by your sides or just out a little bit. If you had a sandbag that you could put on your feet, and hold it up there, that pressure is very grounding and soothing. So this posture, unlike the other ones, doesn't take a lot of stretching. It's not a lot of stretching. And so we can really relax into it. So if you have trouble sleeping at night, this would be a great thing to do before bed. You could even do it on your bed if you have access to the wall, like, like at the head of the bed. Or if you feel anxious or panicky, this would be really good. Especially good if you raise your hips. This is an inversion, which we don't often get to do on a daily basis. And it allows the blood to flow in the opposite direction, especially if we have our hips raised a little bit. So to come out of it, you just bend both of your knees down, and then you roll over to one side or the other, and then help yourself come up. And that was actually our Shavasana for the day, to end the class. It's so relaxing. So it's not really Shavasana pose, but it serves the purpose of the Shavasana. So let's come back to a seated posture. Check in with your body and see how it feels. Hopefully you feel very relaxed, more at ease in your body. Perhaps something that was hurting before is no longer hurting. Such a great way to spend an hour of each day. I admit I don't do it every day. Yin yoga. I do yin yoga really just once a week. And I teach a couple other classes throughout the week. So you might want to check those out too. If anybody wants to come to a free class live on Zoom, just reach out to me and I will organize that for you. So bring your hands together at your heart center. Inhale. Exhale, lower your head down. Namaste. Thank you, and you can find me at embodyyourjoy.com, my website. Thanks for joining me today. See you next time.